Ladies and gentlemen, listen closely. If you want greatness, if you want success, if you want influence, you must make education a daily ritual. Not the kind that ends with a certificate, not the kind that waits on a teacher. I am talking about the relentless fire of self-education. Knowledge is the seed of every achievement, every invention, every empire, every fortune, started with an idea. And ideas only come alive when you sharpen your mind. 1 hour of learning every day turns into 7 hours a week, 30 hours a month, 360 hours a year. That is the difference between the ordinary and the unstoppable. You cannot build power without compounding knowledge. Ignorance is the most expensive mistake you will ever make. People lose jobs, lose businesses, lose relationships because they never invested in educating themselves daily. The world punishes the unprepared and rewards the educated mind. Every day you must feed your mind with books, with ideas, with strategies, truths that elevate you. Why? Because the day you stop learning is the day you start dying. Stagnation is death disguised as comfort. Opportunities do not knock on closed minds. They bow only to the prepared. And preparation comes from discipline. The discipline to read, to study, to question, to expand your vision. Education is not a luxury, it is a duty to yourself. Your brain is your greatest capital. It is worth more than money, more than status, more than connections. Money can be lost, connections can fade. But knowledge, once yours, becomes a fortress that no one can take away. So hear me clearly, educate yourself daily. Make it your non-negotiable, make it your weapon, make it your shield, make it your habit, and you will walk through life armed with a power so great that nothing, no failure, no rejection, no obstacle will ever conquer you. The mind that learns daily, rules daily. Knowledge is the seed of every achievement. Without it, nothing begins, nothing grows, and nothing. NG lasts. Every empire that was built, every fortune that was created, every invention that changed the world, all of it started with a single piece of knowledge planted in the mind of someone who refused to remain ignorant. Knowledge is the origin of all power, and when you understand this truth, you will stop wasting time and start feeding your mind daily, because your future depends on it. Think of the seed. A seed by itself is small, fragile, even invisible to the casual eye. But when it is nurtured, when it is watered, when it is protected, it grows into a tree that gives shade, fruit, and shelter for generations. Knowledge works the same way. What seems like a small lesson, a short chapter, a single idea, can expand into results so powerful that it transforms not only your life, but the lives of thousands around you. Every great leader, every visionary, every innovator planted that seed of daily self-education and refused to let it die. But here is where most people fail. They NT the fruit without planting the seed. They want success without knowledge. They want wealth without wisdom. They want freedom without discipline. And life simply does not work that way. You cannot cheat the law of growth. If you are not planting knowledge daily, you are preparing yourself for failure daily. Ignorance is not just weakness, it is the most expensive mistake you will ever pay for. People lose opportunities not because they are unlucky, but because they were unprepared, uneducated, and blind to the chance standing right in front of them. The man or woman who refuses to learn is silently digging their own grave. The world is evolving every single day, and if you do not evolve with it, you are already left behind. 1 hour of education every day may seem small, but over a year it becomes 360 hours of growth. That is the difference between a stagnant mind and a powerful mind. That is the difference between the average and the unstoppable. Imagine the stray, the confidence, the certainty you would carry if you dedicated yourself to that discipline. Do not wait for someone else to teach you. Do not sit around hoping that schools, mentors, or society will hand you wisdom. True power comes from self-education, the hunger to dig, to read, to study, to observe, to question, and to apply. The world does not reward those who are merely taught. It rewards those who teach themselves. Discipline in learning creates mastery in action. If you want to command respect, if you want to move mountains, if you want to leave a legacy, you must become a master of your own mind. The truth is simple. If you stop learning, you start dying. The body may live, but the mind decays. Stagnation is death disguised as comfort. That is why so many people live average lives, because they chose comfort over growth, entertainment, over education, and excuses over effort. But you do not have to be one of them. You can rise above the crowd by dedicating yourself to daily education. Read books that stretch your vision. Listen to voices that challenge your thinking. Study strategies that sharpen your skills. Every single day, pour something valuable into your mind, because your brain is the most powerful capital you will ever own. Money can be lost, connections can fade, status can be stripped away, but knowledge, once planted, belongs to you forever. It becomes your fortress, your shield, your weapon. It allows you to adapt when others crumble, to create when others complain, and to lead when others follow. Knowledge is not just power. It is survival, it is strength. It is the very foundation of freedom. Do not treat education as an option. Treat it as oxygen. As long as you are breathing, you must be learning. Each day you neglect this, you are weakening yourself. Each day you embrace it, you are fortifying yourself. The educated mind cannot be enslaved, cannot be deceived, cannot be broken. The educated mind is unshakable because it knows where it stops. NDS and how to rise higher. Opportunities bow only to the prepared. Doors open only to those who have sharpened their minds enough to see the handle and turn it. Life gives its treasures only to those who have earned them with daily discipline. And that discipline begins with your decision right now to educate yourself daily. Not tomorrow, not someday, today. Because if not today, then when? So hear this with clarity. Educate yourself daily. Make it your non-negotiable, make it your duty. Make it your ritual. Make it the first step of every morning and the last step of every night. Because if you want to build a life of power, influence, freedom, and impact, there is no other way. Knowledge is the seed of every achievement. Plant it, nurture it, guard it, and watch as it grows into greatness that nothing and no one can take away from you. Daily education compounds into unstoppable power. A single day of learning may seem small, even insignificant, but when repeated with discipline, T builds into a force so strong that it can tear down walls of limitation and construct empires of success. What you do once will not change your destiny, but what you do daily will define your life. A drop of water seems powerless, yet over time it carves valleys and shapes stone. In the same way, daily education, consistent, persistent, and relentless, sculpts the mind into something extraordinary. Greatness has never been a sudden strike of luck. It has always been the result of steady, compounding growth. Knowledge compounds like money invested wisely. The more you deposit into your mind, the more interest it pays back in wisdom, opportunities, confidence, and power. While others waste their hours on distractions, the disciplined learner builds silently until one day their power is undeniable. Success is not random. It bows only to those who prepare their minds daily. Think of it. Every page you read, every lesson you absorb, every skill you sharpen is like stacking bricks, a single. Brick builds nothing. 10 bricks build very little. But brick after brick, day after day, becomes a fortress. And that fortress is your mind, strong, unshakable, and indestructible. Most people underestimate the power of small daily actions. They believe change must be massive and immediate. They are wrong. Change that lasts is born from the compounding power of what you do consistently. The danger lies in neglect. Ignore your mind for a day and you notice nothing. Ignore it for a year and you will watch your life remain stuck, stagnant, and powerless. The person who refuses to learn daily begins to decay mentally while pretending to live physically. They are unprepared for opportunity, blind to growth, and defenseless against challenges. Life punishes those who stay ignorant, but it rewards those who make education their daily ritual. Daily education is not just about books, lectures, or classrooms. It is about hunger, the hunger to grow, to sharpen, to question, to expand. It is about observing, listening, experimenting, and applying. It is about making every single day a step forward, no matter how small. The person who commits to this hunger becomes unstoppable. Their confidence grows because knowledge destroys fear. Their opportunities multiply because the prepared mind sees doors where others see walls. Their influence rises because people naturally follow the one who knows, the one who is informed, the one who is wise. The tragedy is that most people spend more time entertaining their minds than educating them. They drown in noise, scrolling, gossip, distractions, all while their potential rots inside them. They say they want success, but they starve the very mind required to create it. They wish for power, yet ignore the one habit that guarantees it: daily education. If you cannot give even a fraction of your day to feed your mind, you have no right to complain about mediocrity. Understand this truth: the mind you educate daily becomes the master of your future. Money can vanish, status can crumble, relationships can change, but knowledge, once gained, cannot be taken away. It travels with you, strengthens you, and serves you. It is the one asset that no one can steal. That is why those who learn daily rise above circumstances. They do not wait for perfect conditions, they create them. They do not depend on luck, they depend on preparation. They do not ask for opportunities, they command them. The compound effect of daily education is invisible at first, and that is why so many quit. A week of learning shows little. A month feels slow, but a year of daily discipline transforms you. 3 years makes you unrecognizable. A decade makes you unstoppable. Patience is the key. Just as a tree does not show its strength in its first season, so the mind does not reveal its power in its early stages. But over time, the compounding effect is undeniable. Discipline is the bridge between desire and achievement. Without the discipline to educate you, for self daily, your desires remain empty wishes. But with discipline, your knowledge sharpens your actions, and your actions create results. Discipline is not punishment. It is the foundation of freedom. Freedom to think clearly, freedom to act decisively, freedom to achieve without limits. The question is simple: will you allow your days to pass in ignorance, or will you claim your power through daily education? The choice is yours. Every day you either invest in your future or you waste it. Every day you either compound your knowledge or you subtract from it. The clock is ticking, and your habits decide your destiny. So commit with unshakable resolve. Feed your mind every single day. Read with intensity. Study with passion. Observe with curiosity. Apply with courage. Make daily education the fuel of your life. Because once you do, you will find yourself growing into a person no obstacle can stop, no failure can break, and no challenge can intimidate. That is the power of daily educat. Ion. That is the unstoppable force you must unleash within yourself. Daily education compounds into unstoppable power. Plant it, nurture it, repeat it. And one day you will wake up unrecognizable. Not because the world changed, but because you built the mind that changed the world. Ignorance is the most expensive mistake you can afford. It costs more than failure, more than risk, more than effort. Failure teaches, risk sharpens, effort builds. But ignorance steals silently. It robs you of opportunities you never saw, doors you never opened, and power you never claimed. People fear losing money, but ignorance costs more than money. It costs time, it costs growth, it costs destiny. You can recover from debt, you can rebuild after loss, but when ignorance rules your life, it chains you to a cycle of weakness and mediocrity. Look around. Lives are wasted not because people lack talent, but because they lack knowledge. Businesses collapse, not for lack of effort, but for lack of understand. Ding. Relationships fall apart, not always from lack of love, but from lack of wisdom. Dreams die not from impossibility, but from ignorance of the path required to reach them. The truth is brutal. Ignorance is not innocence, it is negligence. To remain ignorant in a world overflowing with information is to voluntarily choose poverty of the mind. Ignorance blinds. It makes a man walk past opportunities and call them luck when others seize them. It makes a woman surrender to fear, because she never learned the principles that destroy fear. It turns human potential into wasted energy, and wasted energy into regret. Regret is the child of ignorance. Years later, people look back and say, if only I had known. But knowledge is available to those who seek it, and ignorance is the punishment for those who refuse. Understand this, you cannot escape the cost of learning. Either you pay the price of discipline now, or you pay the price of ignorance later. One is temporary, the other is permanent. One requires effort, the other demands your entire life. The disciplined learner sacrifices comfort today but gains strength tomorrow. The ignorant man enjoys comfort today but pays with weakness tomorrow. Life will collect its debt, either in the form of your dedication or in the form of your ignorance. Do not confuse ignorance with lack of intelligence. Ignorance is not inability, it is refusal. It is a choice. Every day you decide whether to grow or to remain blind. Every hour you either sharpen your vision or allow it to blur. The world is evolving, knowledge is expanding, opportunities are multiplying, but ignorance makes you stand still as the world moves past you. Standing still is falling behind. Ignorance is expensive because it silently kills what could have been. Think of the person who never studied wealth and therefore remains trapped in financial struggle. Think of the leader who never learned discipline and therefore crumbled under pressure. Think of the dreamer who they studied persistence and therefore gave up too early. In every case, ignorance stole more than effort ever could. You will never know the true price of ignorance because it is measured in the things you never achieve. But here is the truth that should set fire to your soul. Ignorance is curable. It is destroyed by daily education, by discipline, by hunger for growth. Every page you read, every lesson you learn, every mentor you listen to, every hour you dedicate to feeding your mind, these are weapons against ignorance. Education is not an event, it is a daily war. You fight ignorance not once, but every single day. And if you win each, regret. The ignorant man believes education is expensive. The wise man knows ignorance is costlier. The ignorant man wastes his nights in distraction. The wise man invests his nights in learning. The ignorant man blames fate. The wise man sharpens his mind. In time, the difference is undeniable. One lives trapped, the other lives free. Ignorance is the most expensive mistake you can afford, but it is also the most avoidable. Make learning your daily commitment. Read, listen, observe, question, grow. Do not allow ignorance to rob you of the life you deserve. Feed your mind because what you do not know will hurt you. And what you choose to learn will empower you. So I say it again, ignorance is the most expensive mistake you can afford. Do not pay that price. Refuse ignorance. Reject blindness. Choose daily education. Choose discipline. Choose growth. Because when you do, you build a life where opportunities open, confidence rises, and power becomes your natural state. And in that life, ignorance is no longer your enemy. It is your past. Self-education builds confidence faster than external validation. When you teach yourself, when you commit to growth without waiting for applause, something powerful happens inside you. You stop begging for permission to succeed. You stop waiting for others to approve your worth. You stop depending on someone else to tell you that you are capable. Instead, your confidence rises from within, built on the foundation of knowledge and discipline that no one can take away from you. External validation is fragile. It comes today, disappears tomorrow, and changes with the opinions of others. One moment they praise you, the next they doubt you. If your confidence is chained to what others say, you will always be weak, always uncertain, always needing approval to move forward. But self-education, your daily decision to feed your mind, sharpen your skills, and grow your knowledge, creates confidence that does not bend, does not break, and does no depend on anyone. Think of this clearly. A person who knows is unshakable. A person who is educated in their craft does not wait for someone to say, "One, you can do it." They already know they can because they have built the skill, they have studied the path, they have done the work. Knowledge fuels belief and belief fuels action. External validation might give you a quick spark, but self-education gives you a permanent flame. Most people are trapped because they are addicted to approval. They need likes on their posts, compliments from their peers, recognition from their bosses. They are starving for validation, but starving because they never fed themselves. They want confidence without work, respect without knowledge, growth without discipline. But you cannot fake true confidence. You cannot trick the world into believing in you if you do not believe in yourself. And belief in yourself is born from self-education. When you read, when you study, when you learn something new every sin. Day, your confidence grows not because someone clapped for you, but because you know more today than you did yesterday. That knowledge compounds. It gives you an edge. It makes you stand taller, speak louder, act bolder. You no longer hope you are enough. You know you are enough because you've proven it through your effort. Self-education teaches you resilience. External validation is shallow. It disappears when challenges come. But when you've educated yourself, when you have invested in your own mind, you have a foundation to fall back on. You are not dependent on applause. You are not broken by criticism. You move forward regardless of who cheers, because your confidence is trained your mind through relentless study. You naturally command attention. You do not chase validation. Validation chases you.